Speak to Robert Watson, co-chair of the landmark United Nations report, Making Peace with Nature. He is one of the world's leading environmental scientists. He joins us from Washington. Robert, thank you so much indeed for your time. We've got emotive issues here, but we've also got facts. Emotively, we heard in that report from South Africa, a man telling the camera that he'd lost one of his children in the flooding. In the Philippines, there's a story of a father who said to his family, look, the floods are coming, so go up the mountain, you'll be safer there. And a few hours later, the mountain fell down because of the sheer amount of rain that was falling. Factually, the richest countries in the world produce the most greenhouse gases per capita. Are they paying poorer countries enough to make sure that they can do what they have to do to help the climate?
The answer is no. We have to do two things. We have to reduce our emissions of greenhouse gases all across the world, and the rich industrial countries need to take the lead. But we also need to make sure there's money available for developing countries to adapt to a changing climate. So we need to minimize climate change, and we have to, unfortunately, learn to adapt to climate change. Climate change is already with us, and it will get worse in the future.
Canada's approved a new controversial pipeline. The British government has approved drilling in the North Sea. And we know what fossil fuels are doing to the world. It's scientifically proven. Ecocide is not yet a crime. Is that maybe the only way to get governments to do the right thing?
I honestly don't know, but we need to do the right thing. The recent IPCC reports clearly show we are not on a pathway to meet the Paris target of 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius. We're on a pathway to 3.2 degrees Celsius or even higher. This will come with increased floods, drought, heavy cyclones, hurricanes. It will destroy food crops. It will give adverse health effects. It's absolutely time that the world must take these issues seriously. And as I said earlier, it's countries in Europe, North America, Australia, Russia. We must take the lead.
The United Nations Secretary General said that countries are continuing to exploit fossil fuels, and I'm paraphrasing, he was saying that they're the real criminals here, because what we see is when climate protesters take to the streets, then the police take action against them and almost treat them like the criminals. There's a growing movement amongst the scientific community. I just saw earlier today some scientists gluing their hands to a building, and I won't name the corporation, that is involved in the extraction of fossil fuels. Even scientists are now getting arrested and risking having a criminal record, possibly their careers destroyed, because they're saying, if we don't save the future, what are we even doing here?
Absolutely. We know what to do. We've got to stop using fossil fuels, use renewable energy, wind, solar. We need to use our energy much more efficiently, more efficient cars, buildings, more efficient industry. We know what to do. We have the technologies. We need governments working with the business sector and the finance sector to start doing the right things. The finance sector should stop funding fossil fuel projects, start to fund sustainable projects. There's no question this is serious for the current generation and even more so for future generations. And unfortunately, while it's the rich countries of the world that have largely caused this problem, it will be poor people in developing countries that will suffer most.
Robert, as always, thank you so much indeed. But you know what? I should have prefaced our interview by saying that it's not us, either you or me, drawing an equivalence between what we've been reporting in the Philippines and South Africa with the climate crisis. Government officials in both those countries have already done that in the past couple of days. Robert Watson, thank you so much indeed.